He was a billionaire used to power, luxury, and control. She was a quiet cleaning lady who worked in the background, unnoticed by the world. But one rainy afternoon in Atlanta, when he saw her sitting alone, eating her lunch under the pouring rain, something in him broke. And what happened next would change both their lives forever. If you believe that one simple act of humility can awaken the human heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Now, let's get into the story. Atlanta woke up that Monday the way it always did, buzzing with ambition, neon lights flickering off glass towers, and the rhythm of dreams chasing deadlines. At the very top of that city sat Elijah Darius, a man who'd built an empire with his mind, his will, and an iron sense of order. He was the CEO of Darius Industries, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that touched everything from real estate to renewable energy. To most people, he was a legend. To those who work for him, he was something else, precise, demanding, cold. Every morning was a ritual. Espresso machine hissing at 6 a.m. Treadmill roaring by 6:10. By 7 o'clock, he was dressed in a perfectly tailored charcoal suit, tie knotted tight, every detail deliberate. Assistants lined up his day like soldiers. Meetings, calls, mergers, lunches that weren't really lunches, and deals that made men kneel. Elijah liked control, because control was predictable. What he didn't realize was how lonely his world had quietly become. Among the nameless staff who moved through his penthouse each morning was Gwen Stevens, a soft-spoken cleaning lady in her early 40s. For 3 years, she'd worked in the background, quietly dusting, mopping, and keeping the world of Elijah Darius spotless. She never complained, never arrived late, never once asked for anything more. Elijah knew her only as the cleaner. He didn't know that she was a widow, that she took 2 buses each morning, or that she skipped meals sometimes so her children could eat. That morning, as he reviewed quarterly reports, Gwen wiped the glass railing behind him. Her reflection shimmered faintly on the polished surface. Without looking up, Elijah said curtly, "Don't forget the balcony windows this time." "Yes, sir," she whispered, her voice nearly drowned by the sound of distant thunder. He didn't notice her tired hands, or the way her eyes followed the raindrops sliding down the window. To Elijah, it was just another Monday. To Gwen, it was another day of quiet survival. By noon, Elijah was seated in the back of his Maybach, cruising through Peachtree Street, Atlanta's artery of ambition. His assistant was briefing him on figures, numbers, projections, forecasts, the language Elijah spoke best. Outside, the skies darkened. Then the storm came, a heavy southern rain that blurred the city and slowed its pulse. Elijah barely looked. To him, rain was just another inconvenience to schedule around. "We'll be late," he muttered. "Traffic's heavy, sir," his driver replied. As they crawled through the intersection, something caught Elijah's eye, a figure sitting alone on a bench, half hidden beneath a dying tree. At first, it was just a blur. Then, as the car rolled forward, he saw her. Gwen Stevens. Her hair was plastered to her face, her uniform soaked through. She held a paper bag, her lunch, already falling apart in her hands. She wasn't rushing to find shelter. She wasn't hiding. She just sat there, quietly eating, letting the rain fall. Elijah stared. "Stop the car," he said. The driver hesitated. "Sir." "I said stop the car." The Maybach eased to the curb. Elijah lowered his tinted window and watched. She didn't see him. She didn't look around. She just ate her sandwich with gentle dignity, careful, calm, as if this was normal. Something inside Elijah tightened. "Why is she sitting there?" he muttered to himself. His assistant glanced up. "Sir." Elijah didn't answer. He just kept watching. She could have eaten inside somewhere, he thought. Why would she sit in the rain? But when Gwen finally stood and placed her paper bag neatly into a trash bin before hurrying away, Elijah noticed one small thing that broke him. The Darius Industries badge clipped to her shirt. She worked for him. His company. His policies. His world. And yet here she was, eating her only meal of the day under the rain. That night, Elijah couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, the numbers in his reports blurred. His thoughts wandered back to that soaked park bench. He called his operations manager early the next morning. "I need to know something," he said. "Why are cleaning staff eating outside in bad weather?" There was an awkward silence. Then the manager cleared his throat. "Company policy, sir. They're not allowed to eat in client areas or in the main break rooms." "Not allowed?" Elijah repeated. "Yes, sir. It's standard procedure." He ended the call without replying. The word policy echoed in his head, cold, hollow, and cruel. That afternoon, he visited the lower floors of his headquarters for the first time in years. Janitors, cleaners, cafeteria staff, all stopped working as he entered. They looked nervous. No one had ever seen Elijah Darius down there. He spotted Gwen in the corner, polishing a floor sign. When their eyes met, she froze. "Mr. Darius," she said softly, "is something wrong?" He shook his head. "No. Something's been wrong for a while, and I just noticed." She didn't understand. Not yet. A week later, Gwen received a message from HR. She was to report to the top floor, the CEO's office. Her hands trembled the entire elevator ride. She had never been up there before. When the doors opened, Elijah himself greeted her. No assistants. No board members. Just him. "Please," he said, gesturing to the seat across from his desk. "Sit." She hesitated. "I'll stand, sir." "Gwen," he said gently, "please sit." She did. Awkwardly. Elijah leaned forward, his voice calm. "The other day, I saw you eating outside. In the rain." Her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I didn't mean for anyone to see that, sir. The cafeteria was full, and I didn't want to make a mess in the client lounge." "So you ate in the rain instead?" he asked softly. She nodded, eyes down. "It's okay, sir. I'm used to it." Those words hit Elijah like a blow. "I'm used to it." He took a deep breath. "Gwen, no one should be used to that. Not in my company. Not anywhere." Tears welled in her eyes. "You don't have to worry about me, sir. I'm fine. Really." But Elijah shook his head. "You are not fine. And neither am I." He stood up and walked to the window, the same one he'd looked through for years, always from above, never down. "I built this company to create jobs, not to strip people of their dignity," he said quietly. "And I think I forgot that along the way." When he turned back to face her, his expression was softer than she'd ever seen. "Gwen, I owe you an apology." She blinked, stunned. "Me, sir?" "Yes. For not seeing you sooner." 2 months later, Darius Industries looked a little different. New break rooms. New policies. New respect. But Elijah wasn't done yet. That spring afternoon, he showed up unexpectedly at Gwen's modest home, a small, neatly kept bungalow in a quiet Atlanta neighborhood. She nearly dropped her cleaning rag when she saw him standing there. "Mr. Darius? What are you doing here?" He smiled. "May I come in?" Inside, the living room was simple, worn furniture, children's drawings taped to the fridge, and a faint scent of homemade soup. "You've done a lot with so little," Elijah said softly. She shrugged. "We make do." He handed her an envelope. "You won't be cleaning the building anymore." Her face fell. "Oh, I see." "No," Elijah said quickly. "You're not being fired. You're being promoted." "Promoted?" "To Director of Staff Relations. You'll manage cleaning and maintenance contracts across the company. Set wages. Design break schedules. Fix what's broken." Her mouth opened, then closed again. "Sir, I don't even have a degree." "You don't need one," Elijah replied. You have something better. Heart. Tears filled her eyes. I don't know what to say. Say you'll help me make this place better, he said, smiling. She nodded through her tears. I will. Then he handed her a second envelope, heavier this time. This, he said, it's for your home. Paid in full. And for your children, a college fund. Gwen froze. You bought my house. He nodded quietly. No one who works as hard as you should fear losing their roof. For the first time in years, Elijah felt peace. He'd given her a house, but she had given him something greater, perspective. A year later, Gwen Stevens was no longer just a cleaning lady. Her name appeared on every employee handbook, on every orientation slide. Respect starts from the ground up, her quote read. Elijah Darius often visited her new office, smaller than his, but brighter. He'd tease her for skipping lunch. She'd tease him for trying to act humble. One afternoon, he handed her a small velvet box. She frowned. Elijah, what is this? He chuckled. Not jewelry. Open it. Inside was a silver key. It's the key to the new Darius Staff Center, he said. A space for every worker, janitor to executive, to eat, rest, and feel human. Gwen's eyes shimmered. It's beautiful. Elijah smiled. Promise me one thing. What? Never eat in the rain again. She laughed through her tears. Deal. That moment, the image of a soaked woman quietly eating under the rain, changed a billionaire's heart forever. Years later, whenever Elijah walked through Atlanta and saw the rainfall, he would look up, smile, and whisper to himself, "It all started with the moment I almost drove past." Sometimes, the smallest act of humility can awaken the greatest heart. Gwen Stevens didn't ask for pity, only respect. And Elijah Darius discovered that true wealth isn't what you have, but what you give back. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still changes the world. Because no one is too rich to learn compassion, and no one is too small to inspire it.